Well, a trip to the flea market or a garage sale might often uncover some great vintage items, but once you get them home, what do you do with them?
Finding the right way to integrate vintage decor into a contemporary home can be a little bit tricky. So joining us is local blogger Jennifer Wilhelm with livelygrace.com. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in.
You bet.
How do we do it successfully? Because, I mean, you can just throw stuff into a room, but to really make it so it integrates, when you have, a lot of us have very contemporary furniture, how do you do it successfully?
Right. And a lot of times folks think, well, I can't really add that vintage vibe that I want to because I can't start over with buying new furniture and everything else. So I like to start, obviously, with the accessories. Anytime that you can add in a little bit of natural wood, a little bit of chippy paint, smaller pieces kind of interspersed, 1, 2, 3 in a room, it kind of helps add it in, and then you can start growing from there.
So this is a picture of your living room, and obviously it looks like you have a very modern chair there, but some items that would be considered vintage.
Right. So I have just kind of a standard leather couch, really, and then have added in a trunk that I found, the TV console that was an old dresser that I repurposed as a TV console, and it's great for storing DVDs and video games and things.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And then adding in some of these other vintage pieces.
So you don't have to go buy a shabby chic couch or something to make it work.
Right, right.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's good. Well, let's start kind of over in here, some of the kind of fun things that you have.
So I love old boxes for things like storing magazines, tucking them underneath a coffee table, toy bins, throw extra pillows in there and a blanket for the winter. Vintage suitcases are an easy way to add a little bit of a vintage vibe and put that within your living room or a bedroom. Again, you can use them for storage as well too. Sofa tables or entry tables, these are a great place. You can put the suitcase underneath or on top, flip it open, it'll store a bunch of DVDs here or magazines, or that secret, do you end up with a pile of paperwork sometimes in the house? This is my secret, they end up in my vintage suitcase.
That is such a good idea.
And all of a sudden it looks really clean and tidy.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and you can intermix it with some more contemporary pieces. I picked these up at Fred Meyer a couple years ago. Then in my kitchen, you know, if you want to add a painted piece, adds a little bit of a vintage feel. I picked this up at a thrift store, put some paint on it. You can set that on your tablescape. Of course, vintage ball jars. I've seen these also, not necessarily the vintage antique ones, but folks that have painted them. And they just kind of give it a little bit of a different feel to add a little contemporary and a little vintage all together. In the bathroom, I do like vintage and I like old and antique, but I like new soap. So
Yeah, I don't like old soap.
I don't like you in that belief.
Vintage dial, circa 1956.
but you can find labels that kind of give a little bit of a vintage feel to it.
So could you take like brand new soap, if you find an older, maybe even a metal soap dispenser, and you use that to for your hand soap?
You know, a lot of times we're using pump soaps in the bathrooms and things now because it's a little bit more sanitary. But I like the smell of soap in the bathroom. Put it in just an old little tin bread tray.
I have several of those, by the way. Yeah,
put all
that's
sorts of
a
stuff
great
in there.
idea.
Or, you know, a little old coffee cup for toothbrushes in a bathroom. And I love the old all buckets. These are more of an antique and they're a little bit more unique to find. But any old galvanized bucket, wooden tray that you can tuck towels in, or your toilet paper. It just adds a little bit of that feel as you kind of incorporate or change your style a little bit.
And it's nice with, you know, with the books and with the towels, you just add a little twine to it, and
it kind of gives that nice feel as well.
Now this is very interesting. This is an old window frame, and all you did was just put a wreath in it.
Right. So across from my TV in my living room, there's a large wall, and I have a large window. It's about 5 by 6 feet.
Oh, wow.
That's like this. So that's another one. It's a little hard to find that size, but if you want to add a little vintage decor that goes on your wall, old windows are a great way to do that. I protect the paint with a little polyurethane, so it's not chipping off in your home, and you can dust it
A lead problem.
A lead problem.
For these ideas and more, you have a great blog. Can people go there and get information about this?
Absolutely.
Where do they go?
www.livelygraceblogsspot.com, or you can search me on Facebook there too.
Sounds great. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.